There's a principle in Hermeticism that 97% of people have heard of, but have no idea how to control. This universal principle, or law, allows those who master it to literally manifest the reality they desire. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. My name is Noah, and this is the Hermes Code channel. And before you take a wild guess about where this is headed, let me tell you up front.
No.
I'm not talking about positive thinking or surface-level law of attraction. Let's imagine the following scenario. From now on, you can consciously choose the frequency at which your mind and body vibrate, and by doing so, determine exactly what you attract into your life. That would be incredibly powerful, wouldn't it? Just knowing that this is possible sends a different kind of energy through your entire body. The ancient alchemical masters called this knowing your inner name, something so powerful that, according to them, it was the ultimate formula to banish all shadows from existence. Today, I'm going to reveal how the greatest geniuses and sages in history used this principle to transcend the limitations of ordinary reality. And more importantly, how you can start applying it today, no matter where you are on your journey of self-discovery. Over 2,500 years ago, on the banks of the Cayster River in ancient Greece, the philosopher Heraclitus stood watching the ever-flowing water. It was there that he spoke one of the most profound phrases in all of philosophy. No one ever steps into the same river twice. What few people understand is that Heraclitus wasn't just making a poetic observation about the passage of time. He was revealing a fundamental truth about the universe. Everything is in constant vibration, everything is continuously changing. The world we see isn't as solid as it seems. In reality, it's pure energy vibrating at different frequencies. This understanding wasn't exclusive to the Greeks. In Eastern traditions, especially Tibetan Buddhism and Hinduism, we find ancient teachings that describe human identity as, at its core, purely vibrational. What the ancients intuited, modern quantum physics has confirmed. We are energy fields in constant motion and transformation. And since everything vibrates, you are no exception. You need to become aware of and identify the frequency you're vibrating at. Know which Wi-Fi signal you're sending out. Did you know that each of us has a unique vibrational address? It's like a code that determines everything we attract and manifest into our reality. That's your personal Wi-Fi signal. The one who knows their inner vibration becomes the master of their destiny, because they know how to tune into higher frequencies and steer their life toward the most favorable paths possible. Maybe all of this sounds a bit too abstract to you. That's why I want to challenge you to experience the application of this Hermetic principle in a practical way. Dedicate the next 40 days to consciously observing where your energy is vibrating. And how do you do that? By identifying the quality of your thoughts, your emotions, and the words you choose to speak. Map out these behaviors, and you might be surprised at how low your vibrational level really is. It might even be a bit scary. What's most revealing is realizing that there are visible signs of your vibration all around you. From your physical environment, to the people you interact with, and even the objects you choose, everything is an external reflection of your internal vibration. The ancient masters used to say that we never vibrate without consequence. Our vibration affects everything around us. We are quite literally responsible for the energetic impact we have on the world. So, in order to transform your external reality, you first need to change your vibrational frequency. What the great sages of all traditions knew, from Plato to Einstein, from Buddha to the Hermetic masters, is that there's a way to consciously raise our vibration. A process of transmutation that allows us to move from denser matter to subtler spirit, gradually refining our energetic frequency. And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today. How to identify your current vibrational address and, more importantly, how to consciously raise it so you can manifest the reality you truly want to experience. Let's get straight to it. How can you tell what frequency you're vibrating at right now? Because this is the first essential step in any conscious transformation. We can't change what we don't recognize. Your brain is essentially a sophisticated decoder of the mental plane. Picks up subtle frequencies and translates them into thoughts, emotions, and eventually, physical actions. When you learn to observe this process, you gain an extraordinary power. The power of choice. That's why understanding what's happening in your mental plane is essential if you want to choose which frequency to tune into. There are 3 unmistakable signs that reveal your current vibrational address. The first is the quality of your recurring thoughts. Spend an entire day in honest observation. Do your thoughts lean more toward fear or trust? Toward scarcity or abundance? Toward judgment or understanding? Notice that this is not a toxic positivity exercise. It's an honest investigation of where your mind naturally resides. The ancient Greeks used the phrase know thyself, know thyself, as the gateway to all mysteries. And the same applies here. The second sign lies in your predominant emotions. Emotions aren't just chemical reactions. They are specific energetic frequencies. Anger vibrates at a completely different frequency than gratitude. Resentment operates on the opposite end of the spectrum from forgiveness. Your emotional landscape on a day-to-day basis is a precise map of your vibrational address. And here's what few people realize. The energetic emission of your thoughts and emotions will inevitably affect other people and situations around you. It's like an invisible magnetic field that you carry with you. The third sign, and perhaps the most revealing one, is found in your physical environment and the people you surround yourself with. Pause and take a look around you right now. What do you see? Beauty or chaos? Order or disorder? Truly beautiful things have a unique property. They literally pull your consciousness upward, raising your vibration. And what about the people in your life? Take an honest look and try to identify whether they uplift or drain your energy. Because there is an unchanging law in the universe. Like attracts like. The people around you aren't there by coincidence. They're a reflection of vibrational resonance. One of the most powerful exercises I've ever learned is what I call the vibrational scanner. For an entire week, carefully observe these 3 aspects. Your recurring thoughts, your predominant emotions, and your physical social environment. Write down patterns. Look for connections. You'll start to see with crystal clarity what your current inner name is, what your vibrational address truly is. The philosopher Plotinus once said, "If something has moved away from the center, it will inevitably produce flaws." When our vibration drifts away from our highest essence, our direct line of communication with the Creator, we naturally begin to manifest distortions in our reality. Much of our suffering is simply a sign of vibrational misalignment. The good news is that, contrary to what many believe, your vibrational frequency is not fixed. You can change it consciously. And when you do, you literally alter the magnetic field that determines what you attract into your life. Now that you know how to identify your current vibrational address, let's move on to the most transformative step. How to consciously raise your vibration to manifest the reality you truly desire. The ancient Hermetic masters taught that, as above, so below. This principle of correspondence reveals something fascinating about the physics of the universe. Look at the planets. Gravity, according to ancient tradition, is nothing more than a form of love manifested between celestial bodies. They stay in orbit through mutual attraction, a resonance. In the same way, when you raise your vibration, you naturally come into resonance with realities of a similar frequency. Don't worry, this isn't magic. It's quantum physics applied to consciousness. Einstein once said, "Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it." Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. The first method for raising your vibration is what I call mental field purification. Our thoughts are not just biochemical processes, they're forms of energy with specific frequencies. When we dwell on low vibrational thoughts, fear, resentment, guilt, we're literally configuring our energetic field to attract experiences of a similar frequency. Start by observing your thoughts without judgment. Then, consciously practice replacing heavy thought patterns with higher ones. Don't confuse this with denying reality. It's about making a conscious choice. Where there is fear, cultivate trust. Where there is criticism, cultivate understanding. Where there is lack, cultivate gratitude. In other words, at this stage, you must polarize your vibration to the positive side of the scale. But make no mistake, replacing these thought patterns won't be easy. The only way to do this with a favorable degree of success is by seeking out elements of opposite polarity to whatever negative feeling you're experiencing. In the case of fear, for example, you might ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? What is the positive aspect of all this that I haven't yet been able to identify? Notice that by doing this, you're not immersed in the feeling of fear, but dialoguing with it, slowly loosening the knot that binds you to that situation. The second method involves emotional alchemy. Your emotions are powerful vibrational amplifiers. A single emotion sustained for just a few minutes can completely shift your energetic field. The ancient alchemists were not trying to turn lead into literal gold. They were encoding the process of transforming dense emotions into elevated states of consciousness. Practice emotional transmutation daily. When you feel anger, don't suppress it. Acknowledge it and then consciously choose to elevate it into determination. When you feel sadness, honor it and then raise it into compassion. It's a subtle inner work, but extraordinarily powerful. The third method is the conscious materialization of your vibrational field into your physical environment. Remember, everything is vibration, including material objects. Start deliberately creating environments that resonate with the frequency you wish to cultivate. Eliminate what is discordant. Introduce elements that elevate your energy. This goes far beyond just decorating a space. It's the conscious creation of resonant fields. The colors you choose, the sounds you listen to, even the organization of the space, all of these are material expressions of specific frequencies that feed back into your own vibration. And here is a profound truth that few understand. When we accelerate our vibration by refining our thoughts and feelings, we are fulfilling a role not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity. Individual vibrational elevation contributes to the elevation of the collective field. Thus, there's no denying that this brings us to a deeper understanding of responsibility. We are not passive victims of circumstances. We are active generators of vibrational fields that affect everything and everyone around us. More and more, we are responsible for who we are and for what this creates in the fabric of shared reality. If I could give you just one central idea from everything we've discussed so far, it would be this. True power lies in consciously choosing what to vibrate, rather than being chosen by circumstances. It's about strengthening your identity through deliberate acts of will, aligned with higher frequencies. Now we arrive at the crucial point of everything I wanted to share with you about this knowledge. How to integrate the principle of vibration into your everyday life to consciously manifest your reality. Because knowledge without application is just information, not transformation. Imagine your vibration as a unique melody. Every possible variation of that melody, from the densest to the most subtle, already exists within you. The point is not to acquire something new, but to consciously choose which notes you want to amplify. As Plato once said, music and rhythm find their way into the secret places of the soul. Here's a practical exercise I recommend for those just beginning. I like to call this exercise the resonance circle. For 3 minutes in the morning and 3 minutes at night, sit in silence and visualize yourself at the center of a luminous circle. This circle represents your personal vibrational field. Now, consciously choose a vibrational quality you wish to cultivate. It can be peace, clarity, abundance, or love. Feel that quality radiating from the center of your being and expanding to fill the entire circle. Notice how your body responds. Observe how your breathing shifts. Pay attention to how your thoughts naturally align with this frequency. What you're doing, in scientific terms, is recognizing your coherent state and recalibrating your neurophysiological field to resonate with higher frequencies. This isn't vague mysticism, it's applied consciousness science in action. What the ancients once called mystery or magic is simply a natural law we don't fully master yet. And the principle of vibration is exactly that, a fundamental law of the universe that, when understood and applied, allows us to consciously participate in the creation of our reality. There are 3 fundamental points we need to consider on this journey. First, we are evolving beings. Our current vibration is not our final destination. Second, there is an ideal point toward which our evolution is directed, what philosophers once called the human ideal. And third, to reach that potential, we must vibrate at increasingly noble and refined levels. The principle of vibration makes the most sense to those who recognize the true potential of the human condition and are willing to reach for it. The seeds of greatness are already planted within each of us. We just need the right reference point to measure our evolution and the proper tools to cultivate it. Once you begin consciously working with the principle of vibration, you realize that reality is far more malleable than it seems. The limits we once believed were fixed reveal themselves to be nothing more than layers of frequency, all of which can be transcended. The great initiates from every tradition discovered this. Tesla once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Nikola Tesla was not a mystic. He was a brilliant scientist who intuited the same truth that the ancient sages taught. So the question is, are you ready to consciously take control of your vibrational frequency? Because when we do this, we stop being the effect and become the cause. We stop being spectators and become creators. We stop being victims of circumstances and become conscious architects of our own reality. And this may be the greatest freedom we can experience as human beings, the freedom to consciously choose our vibration and, through that, our life experience. If this message resonated with you, it means you're already vibrating at a frequency that seeks conscious evolution. And that's no coincidence. It's resonance. From today on, I invite you to practice the resonance circle exercise for 21 consecutive days. Consciously choose the vibration you want to embody, and watch how your reality begins to shift. Share in the comments which frequency you chose to cultivate and what transformations you've begun to notice. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to read to begin their own journey of vibrational elevation. And always remember, you are not just a passive receiver of vibrations. You are a powerful transmitter. Choose consciously what you want to broadcast. Thank you for offering your time and attention to this video. I'll see you in our next meeting.